tuned into the truth with G. Inspire, educate, and uplift. If you can't handle the truth, this ain't the show for you. Cause the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So sit back, relax, buckle up and enjoy this ride.
The truth with G. The truth with G. The truth with G.
All right. Welcome back to the show. You're listening to The Truth with G on WPMM Internet Radio. I am your boy, Joe Graham. You know me as G. Once again, we are back to talk about the issues that matter to you and your community. Hope all is well. Hope all is well with everybody. It's Monday, the start of another week. And seems like it was Friday, and I closed my eyes one time, and I woke up, and it was Monday all over again. Hey, these weekends flying by. That I don't need to happen because we need to slow time down. The older you get, you want to slow time down. But it seems like the older you get, time just speeds up on you. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But I want to thank you guys once again for joining me right here on WPMM Internet Radio. Well, the truth with you is here every Monday, Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I want to thank my listening audience for tuning in. Over 4 years, we have been on the air broadcasting. So I want to thank each and every one of you, each and every one of my listeners, whether you are a first-time listener, a part-time listener, or one of my ride or dies that ride with me just about every single night for the last over 4 years. So I want to thank you so very much for being a part of the show. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being so diligent in supporting the show just by listening. You know, it's not that I ask for anything additional. It's just I just want people to listen because this show is to educate, inspire, and uplift. Particularly to educate. We're gonna key on that word, educate, because I just want all my people to be aware of what's going on around them. So that's why I do this show. So thank you so very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you. And we are WPMM Radio, where we play the best in R&B, jazz, neo-soul, independent hip-hop, and old school music. You can listen from the website at WPMMradio.com. I'm talking too fast. Let me slow down just a little bit. But anyway, WPMMradio.com is the website. We're on Facebook Live. We're on iTunes, we're on YouTube. We're on just about every live streaming apparatus that you can get to. You play when there's no shows going on. WPMM is playing 24-hour with music, and the music that they play is not, you can turn it on and you don't have to worry about hearing the same 10 songs, where you turn it on at 2 o'clock, and then at 3:15 you hear the same song you heard at 2 o'clock. It's not one of them stations. You're going to hear a variety of music, even music that you haven't heard in a long time, and even the new music is all over the gamut when it comes to playing music. So check us out. WPMNradio.com is the website. You can go there. You can download the app, the WPMN Radio app, from the website as well. The app is free, does not cost you a thing, and we know how people like free stuff. So it's a free app. You can go to Google Play Store or the Apple Store and download the app as well. Once again, it's a free app, absolutely free. So check that out. And for the people that may not be tech savvy, you can text them. Just put in the message field, WPMNradio.com. All they have to do is click on the link, hit play, and they can listen to the show as well. So, but if you're on Facebook, drop your comments in the comment section on the topics that we talk about. I do want to hear from you tonight. If you're listening on the app, we're not taking calls. So unfortunately, you can't play a role in it. But if you want to jump on my Facebook page, it is public. It's Ttwg Graham, Graham. It's Ttwg Graham on Facebook, and I think on YouTube, on my YouTube, is GRAH67 on YouTube that you can go to and check the show out as well. The views and opinions expressed by individual radio hosts and guests are of their own and does not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WPMM Radio. WPMM does not intend to malign with any religion, ethnic group, country, club, organization, company, or anyone or anything. I used to say in the beginning when I first started the show that once I said that, And that was for the people who wanted to try to sue WPMM, where you can't sue WPMM. If I say something out of my mouth, you got to try to sue me. But however, you can't sue me for telling the truth. I don't think there's a court in the land that's going to rule for you if I'm telling the truth about something. You just don't like my truth. You don't like your truth, if you will. So that's the only way you can sue me. If I'm telling a lie about you, and I refuse to lie about anybody, and that's not my deal. If you don't like your truth, then you need to change your ways. So that's not on me. But anyway, tonight's show, we're talking about this. I almost cuss. I'm gonna try not to cuss tonight. And keyword being try. Can't promise that, because the subjects that I'm talking about makes you want to cuss. And so if I say a cuss word or two, my apologies, but we're going to try to keep it kid friendly tonight, because we're part of the conversation is talking about the young people. And the language has something to do with our young people as far as that topic goes. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the decorum, the dress, and the behavior at these little league and high school events. We're going to talk about that. I want to hear from you on that topic as well. Also, we're going to talk about the DNC. It wrapped up. The last time I was on Thursday night. The DNC wrapped up Thursday night after it was starting as my show was ending. So we didn't get a chance to talk about the culmination of the DNC. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about why we're going to discuss why the Republicans are so mad right now. I mean, they've always been full of anger and hate, but they're extremely mad now that the DNC has concluded, and they're seeing things happen in the numbers and the polls and things and whatnot, to where they're not real happy about it. So we'll talk about that as well. And once again, I want to hear from you. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and share. Go ahead and share. And if you're on, if you're listening from the app, text somebody, WPMNradio.com, and share the app with them. They can listen just from the website, or they can download the app on their mobile device, whether it be a phone, tablet, computer, what have you. You can even download it on your game systems at the house. So people, topic number one, I want to address what took place over this past weekend. And I attended two events over the weekend, both of them being sporting events. Friday night, I went to my alma mater, went check them out as far as football, high school football, went check them out. I'm a Pensacola High School graduate. So I went over to Pine Forest High School to watch Pensacola High and Pine Forest play. And then on Saturday, I got up and went to one of the youth. They had the jamborees. At the beginning of the season, they always have jamborees. And with the jamborees, they set it up to give the kids an opportunity to hit the field before the regular season starts. They put them in game time situations. Even though it's modified, if you will, but they put them in game time situation, give them a chance to get on the field, get acclimated to how it's going to be during the regular season, this, that, and other. Also, it's a time for fundraising, because if you know about the Little League season, the only time that they raise any money as far as at the gate is during the jamborees, pre-jamborees, and then during the playoffs. It's a charge for the playoffs to pay the referees and things of that nature. But these parks use these jamborees to fundraise, to help their programs, to keep their programs afloat. So let's start Friday night. And this is what irritated me so deeply on Friday night at the high school game. During the game, and let me back up. Let me back up. Before the game, even on my way to the game, because I was trying to decide. I decided at the last minute what game to go to. There's two games in the city. Uh, Two games that I was particularly interested in, and that was Punsacola High Pine Forest game, and also I was interested in the Escambia West Florida game. So I was trying to decide which one I was going to go to, and I had been saying for quite a while that I'm going to support my alma mater. They haven't been having the best seasons or whatnot, and if I go to a game, I want to see a competitive game, and but I've been hearing good things about PHS this year as far as their rebuilding, and so I went on to PHS, and I I had a feeling. And I'm sorry that I had this feeling. I wish I didn't have this feeling. I just knew that at some point in the game, during the game, before the game, during the game, after the game, there's going to be some foolishness. And I just had that premonition, and it's based on how our young people act. And I hate to put a negative stigma on the young people, but unfortunately, the young people have contributed to that negative stigma, if you will. So had that feeling before the game. During the game, I'm sitting on the visitor side at Pine Forest, sitting and watching the game, and I forget what quarter it was in. And next thing I know, I see an officer that was at the north end of the stadium on the visitor side, the side I was sitting on. I see him take off running. He, ran across to the other side of the field. And next thing I know, people that was in the stands on the other side, on the home side, they start moving to the top to look over. So, it don't take a rocket scientist to see a cop running, seeing people spectating to know that there's something going down. So apparently there was some type of scuffle that went down during the game on the back side of the stadium on the home side. Um, I did see where uh, Governor Williams was there broadcasting the game, and he actually kind of went and filmed the backside, and I saw where the police had someone in handcuffs at that point in time. So whatever it was, it looked like a young gentleman that was in handcuffs. So whatever went down, somebody more than likely went to jail, went to juvenile, or whatever the case, whatever may happen. Foolishness, straight foolishness. So sat there and watched the remainder of the game, and I sat there to the end of the game, and at one point, I was going to kind of leave early, but I seen that there was a lot of people leaving early, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna hang out here in the stands until it kind of clears out a little bit, and then I'll make my way out of the stadium. And so I ended up staying until the game was over. And I started walking and to my car. I parked outside the gate. I didn't park inside the gate at Pine Forest. And as I walk into my car, I passed by two or three arguments that was going down. Where bitch this, hold that, f this, f that. I heard all this going on. And the sad part about all this arguing that was going on, it was the young ladies that were doing it. I did not hear one argument with any fellas, which is normally the case. A bunch of young ladies arguing back and forth with each other. As I got out on Longleaf, um, then I hear an argument between somebody that's walking along Longleaf out in front of the school and somebody that was in a vehicle that was going towards Pine Forest Road on Longleaf. And again, it was, bitch this, hold this, and you know, F this and F that, and I'll F you up. And I'm like, these are the young ladies. So I finally made it to my vehicle, and as soon as I got to my vehicle, I made the quickest exit that I could, because there was police that was responding inside the gate at one point, and then there was police that were responding that down from where I was parked at outside the gate. So apparently fights had already jumped off. Come to find out, these fights, from my understanding, these fights from what I was told after this fact, these fights were the young women, the young ladies that were there at the game that were fighting. For whatever reasons, I don't know. But it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to see, and I'm going to say my people, because the arguments that I saw was, it's my people, people that look like me, people that have the same pigmentation that I do. Don't know what your background is, where you came from. All I know is your pigmentation matched mine. And those are the ones I saw arguing. And I have to assume that the ones I saw arguing are the ones that end up fighting. And so I don't know how many fights broke out, but I know there were several fights that broke out after this game. I don't know what to say or what to make of what is going on with this younger generation. I don't know what it is they are trying to prove. I don't know what it is that makes them react the way they do to dumb stuff. Because they ain't fighting about nothing. And 9 times out of 10, if it's females fighting, and I don't want to stereotype females, 9 times out of 10, it may be they fighting over some little boy. And I'm not saying that was the case that night, because I don't know that for sure. But oftentimes, I ain't gonna say 9 out of 10. We're gonna say 7 out of 10. They fighting because of what happened with some little boy. Mr. Adams, what's going on, Mr. Adams? I'm not quite understanding the question. Did you do? Yeah, not quite understanding the question. So if you can rephrase your question, I appreciate your comment, but rephrase your question, because I'm not quite understanding the question. So I'm trying to understand the mentality of our young people. I don't know why they feel that they have to be, quote unquote, hard. I don't understand why they feel that they have to try to relay this thug type mentality toward people around them. Show that they, back in the day was that, Master P said, "Bout it." Why? What are we proving? Because all we're doing is putting ourselves. Well, with that, Mr. Adams, let me tell you this. With the fights, I did not see fights. I did not see an actual fight break out. When I was walking to my vehicle, I just heard a couple different arguments amongst the young girls. Now, here's the deal. As far as getting in somebody's little argument or what have you, if I would have been close enough, which, I wasn't like in the middle of it. If I would have been close enough, I would have verbalized something that y'all need to cut this out and y'all need to move on and go on about your business. If I've been close enough to verbalize. Now, when it comes to if they were fighting, if the fight had broke out in front of me, obviously I'm gonna break up the fight. But I wasn't physically close enough to verbalize or to speak to these young women to tell them to move on. And one of the incidents was there was a young lady walking down Longleaf that passed my car, and as she passed my car, she was yelling at somebody that was in a car. So the person that was in that car was going toward Pine Forest Road. So with that situation, I'm thinking that it was, just two young girls being unruly. So with the other girl already being in the car, I didn't think things would jump off with that particular situation. But I did find out later on that they were fighting in the street on Longleaf. And I, putting two and two together, I kind of think that at some point in the travels of that vehicle, that somebody may have gotten out of that vehicle and started the physical altercation. Can't say that for certain. I'm just, just going on the hypothetical in that particular situation. But if I had been present during a fight, am I going to let these little girls fight? No. I would break up the fight. If I had been close enough to verbalize and educate these women and tell them to cut out the foolishness verbally, I would have done that as well. But we know. I got you, Mr. Adams. I got you. Yeah, you need to pay attention to that road. But here's the thing, and Mr. Adams, you don't have to respond because you're driving. Make sure you stay on, keep your eyes on the road. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about these young people. You have to be careful when you insert yourself into the situations of these young people, because these young people nowadays some of them are ruthless. Even though they're not old enough to carry weapons, you have to be conscious of the fact that somebody could possibly be carrying a weapon. You also have to be conscious of the fact that when you insert yourself into a altercation, not only you may just be there to break up that fight, but somebody seeing you in that particular altercation may not like you being in that altercation, even though you're trying to break it up. So in that instance, now, instead of breaking up a fight, you find yourself in a fight. Because now you got to fight the person that, because you can only grab one at a time. One person trying to break up a fight, you can only grab one person at a time. There's no way you're going to grab both of them and pull them apart. You can only grab one at a time. And once you grab one, you're giving the advantage to the other one. And then that person that you didn't grab has the advantage to beat on the one that you grabbed, because you're pulling that person away. So with that situation going on, somebody watching it can see that a different way. And then next thing I know, I'm in a fight. And I tell you now, I'm still in pretty good shape. I think I got 1 or 2 rounds in me. But I ain't trying to fight nobody. That's not on my agenda. I am not trying to fight anybody. Now, at my age, I am a law-abiding citizen. I am a protected citizen. And I don't want to end up on Channel 3 News as a suspect. And I'll leave it at that. Because that's exactly what would happen. I'm going to end up as a suspect because I'm not about to fight you. I ain't got time to fight you. I don't feel like fighting. I think my fighting days are over with, even though I can still go. I can still go. Don't try me. But I just choose not to fight you. I'm gonna get in self-defense mode. That way, hopefully there'll be no charges filed when I protect myself. So to answer your question, Mr. Adams, um, if I had been close enough to quell the altercation or the verbal altercation, I would have said something, particularly to these young girls. And if I had actually seen the fight, yes, I would have tried to break it up, but I would have been cautious in doing so. So, but in the end, the whole thing was pretty much appalling. The whole thing was embarrassing, particularly to see these young ladies out there acting that way. Not saying that is any better if it was young men, but to see these young women out there acting a damn fool was embarrassing. It was disheartening. It was sad, and they didn't care. And we often talk about the police. We often talk about what the police should have done and should have did this and should have did that, and they should have protected this person. If you had seen how many police officers was at that game, I mean, I seen cop cars all over the place. There was at no point inside or outside that game where you could walk and not see a police car. So even with all that heavy police presence, these young people don't have enough respect for the law. Even though that's a whole nother topic, but but they don't have. And I'm not going to say well, I'm going to use the word respect. I use that. They don't have enough respect for the law to not fight in the presence of the law. Because first thing people want to say is, well, if we had police protection here, they wouldn't be acting this way. That's a lie. You can put a police officer anywhere and everywhere, and a fool is going to be a fool. An idiot is going to be an idiot. A violent idiot is going to be a violent idiot, regardless of what you do. So it doesn't matter. Apparently, it does not matter to these younger people if there's police presence there or not. They're still going to act a damn fool. And they proved it that night. Because everybody that's listening to me that was at that game, that you could not walk 20 yards without seeing a cop car. I personally thought the whole damn sheriff department was out there at that game. I don't even know how they even had enough sheriff deputies to put at the West Florida game, because all of them was at the Pine Forest game. We got a lot of deputy sheriffs in Pensacola, and half of them was on duty. Well, the majority of them was on duty Friday night, but it did not quell the violence that took place in these fights. Thank God nobody got shot. Thank God there was no shots fired that I know of, whatever the case may be. Thank God nobody was, as far as I know, nobody was hospitalized or whatever the case may be. So I'm glad of that, but I'm disheartened over the behaviors, particularly of our young women. I expect better, and not putting a double standard on anybody. But I expect better out of these young ladies than I expect out of some of these knucklehead boys. But we have to be better mentors and better parents and better aunts and uncles, better grandparents to these young people, to keep them from getting out there acting a damn fool like they did on Friday night. And I don't know what the solution is. I don't know what to say to make this a better situation. I have no clue. I don't know. Excuse me. I wish I had a magic wand where I can wave my magic wand and this problem will be resolved. But unfortunately, I don't. Um, Mr. John put he said, why not call the school, talk to the principal, and explain to him what you explained to us? Maybe that could, that's not a bad idea, Mr. John. It's not a bad idea. I would love to sit down with the educators, the principals, assistant principals, um, the staff at these schools. I've actually, I did at one point. I did try to get the educators together to have a round table, if you will, at one point while since I have been doing the show. Um, and it was, I don't know if I scare people, especially with what I say. I say a lot of stuff that's on people's mind that they don't want to say out loud. And I didn't get the response that I was hoping to get when I tried to put together that round table to come on and talk. And maybe I shouldn't have. If I did it and we're not on the air, maybe that will kind of soften things for people because I got a lot of closet listeners and they listen and they say you're spot on with what you're saying, but I can't say that because of my job. I can't say it out loud. I done heard that so many times. I can't say it because it's my job. I ain't supposed to be saying it because of my job, but I'll be damned if I'm gonna shut up. If my job got a problem with me telling the truth about situations, then they just got a problem. Go ahead, fire me. Let me go ahead and find the one of the best civil lawyers that I can find, so I can go ahead and sit down and retire. Because I promise you, I'm gonna sue you, especially if you're gonna try to fire me for telling the truth about things. Now, if I'm lying and if I'm lying about something, I'm creating a situation that makes my employer looks bad or whatever the case may be, then that's one thing. But if I'm telling the truth about it, you fire me, I promise you I'm gonna find the most high powered lawyer I can find. And me and that lawyer, we gonna get what we can get. He'll get he or she'll get their 33%. No doubt. That's what they're gonna hit you with the fees. But I'm gonna make sure my 6% is gonna be enough to where I can sit down and retire. Promise you. So, but that's not a bad idea, Mr. Adams. Not a bad idea. I do want to reach out, and you probably the person I need to talk to put something together. And you know why. And I'm not gonna say it on air. I'm gonna say it out loud, but you know why. You probably one of the best people to reach out to get this roundtable started, even if it's as you got a couple connections there. So we'll talk. We'll definitely talk. But that was Friday night. Moving on. Let's move on to Saturday. Saturday morning, and I get up Saturday morning, and first thing I thought about was getting up and getting my exercise in and going running. Uh, that did not happen Saturday morning. I got up and did some house cleaning and things of that nature, and then I got to the point to where um, I had to sit down and watch my Seminoles. I had to watch my Seminoles, even though they disappointed me. I had to watch them. I'm still a no. I'm still a no tide. They made some dumb mistakes and play calling was questionable, whatnot. But anyway, we're not talking sports tonight. We're talking sports. We're talking about the decorum and the behaviors and the dress. That's what we're talking about tonight. Uh, Like I say, Mr. Adam, we'll definitely get together. We'll definitely get together, and we'll come up. I think with me and you both brainstorming this thing, I think we can come up with something that'll be, uh, the best way to go about it. So we'll definitely talk. We'll definitely talk. But yeah, after some of those pissed me off, um, and what I feel gave away that game. But it's one game, and y'all know me. I'm not gonna sit and say, we number one and whatnot, not, and we the best of this, the best of that. If we not, if we suck, I'm gonna say we suck. We had some terrible play calling that night. We had some miscues on the defense or what have you, and we just didn't play to the tune of winning that ball game. So we got what we got, and we're gonna look forward to next week, and hopefully they can correct their mistakes and move on. But anyway, after Seminoles pissed me off, I got up and I went to a youth sporting event. I went to one of the jamborees that was here in Pensacola. There were several that took place in the area. I think there was, one at Legion Field, one at Scambia, one out the north part of the county. I think one over in Milton or Pace or whatever. So there were several going down, but I went to one of them. I'm not going to say which one I went to. If you saw me there, then you know which one I was at. But if you didn't see me there, I'm not going to say which one I was at. I didn't stay long. My plan was to stay there for the duration and watch football until it ended. And the last game was scheduled for 6 o'clock. I probably got there around 2:30 or so. I say about 2:30. I got there 2:30, 3 o'clock. And when I got there, I was so irritated with what I was seeing and hearing, and I couldn't even stay. I couldn't even enjoy myself. I couldn't even watch the kids play football because I was so distracted and so distraught about what I was seeing and hearing. It was like I'm in another world. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm too. I'm not sensitive. Maybe I'm just too morally sound. I think your morals have to be at a certain level, and your standards have to be at a certain level. Not that I'm judging anybody, but I just think common sense has to be had when you're doing things such as a youth football event. One of the things that pissed me off, and I start with the music. We know music hype you up, this and that. You play music in between, the games, in between plays or whatnot. That's fine, but we are at a youth event. We have a bunch of, these kids start playing football at 5 years old. So you have kids, 5-year-old kids, 7-year-old kids, 9-year-old kids out there at these events. You have grandparents out there. You have parents out there. And I don't want to go to a youth event and hear songs being played that glorify violence, drugs, and sex. I don't think those type of songs should be played at a youth sporting event. I don't think that should happen. I don't see the purpose for that, because we are trying to protect our kids from violence, from drugs, and from sexual acts that they should not be engaging in at their age. But we're going to play songs that glorify all these things. And when these songs play, we have particularly little girls out there that react to these songs. And then they start doing dance moves that are not becoming of young women. These little young girls, these little 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, next thing I see it, next thing I know, I'm seeing, this twerking and and arching your back, and I'm like, what the fuck? So that's one thing. So if any of the park presidents are listening, or anybody on the board at parks, at these little league parks, I'm begging you. I am completely begging you to take the songs out of these parks that glorify drugs, sex, and violence. And if if you insist on playing the songs, at least just play the instrumental version of it, at minimum. If you insist on playing those type of songs, that's what I'm asking. And again, if you're a park president, if you're on the board at a park, vice president, if you're a secretary, whatever position that you hold at these parks, and you listen to me tonight, I encourage you, I beg you to stop playing these songs at your park, because our young kids have enough to deal with. Not saying that, that's going to stop anything or whatever the case may be, but every little thing that we can do to minimize exposure to things that they shouldn't be exposed to, let's take that chance. Let's make that effort to do that. So that was one thing that irritated the hell out of me. I was tired of hearing stuff, and we're gonna shoot this. We're gonna shoot that motherfucker. We're gonna shoot this. We're gonna rob this. We're gonna get this money. We're gonna drop this, and we're gonna twerk it. All this garbage it has no place at a youth football game, youth baseball game, basketball, soccer, gymnastic. It has no place. So, park presidents, let's eliminate that from our parks. Again, if you insist on playing it, just play the instrumental versions, because some of these songs got a nice beat to it, but it's unfortunate that you can put on a song that you can put on a song that has a lot of vulgar language to it, and you can look around, even if you just put the beat, if they put the track, the soundtrack on without the lyrics, and you look around, and when they playing that song, you can look around at these 8-year-olds and these 7-year-olds, you know, and they're mouthing, or they're saying the words to it without even having the words being played. It's just mind blowing. But anyway, that's the first. That's the another issue that I had. Another issue that I had is your parents, the 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 parents and the kids, the way that you dressing. Again, I can't tell you what to do. This is just my opinion. This is an opinionated show right now. I'm just giving you my opinion. But I don't. There is no way in hell that when I was coming up playing sports, I played mostly baseball coming up as far as sports. I was in the band and this, that, and other. I did multiple things. I ran track and all this. And if my mother or my aunt or somebody who was coming to see me at these games, if they showed up, and if it was a male family member and I seen your underwear, or if it's a female family member and I seen your coochie print or your ass cheeks, I'm gonna tell you to take your ass home. I don't want to be here with you and you showing your coochie print and your ass cheeks and your underwear. That's embarrassing. That would be embarrassing to me. Maybe it's status quo nowadays, but it's sad that we are at the point to where that is normal. That is seen to be normal. And I'm not talking about the ass cheeks of adults only. I'm not talking about coochie prints of adults only. I'm seeing this in these young women. I'm seeing the dirty underwear of these young men and older men. It's not everybody. So, Mr. Pugh, what's going on, Mr. Pugh? Um, he said I was at Scammy High, great time. So, and I just this again, that's my personal feelings about the situation. Again, I'm not judging, but I am just saying how I feel about the situation. I don't think it's appropriate for you to show up at your son's event, at your daughter's event, and you're dressed to where your coochie print, your butt cheeks, or your underwear is showing. That's just not appropriate. That's not proper decorum in my view. Other people may think different, obviously. And then to see these young girls dressing that same way, these 10, 11, 12, 15, 17-year-old girls dressing the same way with their ass cheeks out and they coochie print showing. And cleavage to where, you might as well just put on the paste. Just cover your nipples up. I don't understand. No child of mine is going anywhere. I'm thankful to the creator that they gave me male DNA in my sperm count, and I'm glad I didn't create a female child, because my female child would have she would have hated me growing up, but she would have appreciated me once she got to the point where she understood what her dad was doing. But she probably would have had issues with me coming up through school, because she would have been watched, and I watched my boys close as well. So don't think they didn't get watched. But if I had a girl, oh my God, there's no way my child would be out there in the way I seen some of these young girls. No way, impossible. But when the parents are dressing the same way, when the you watch the cheerleaders and you see the cheerleaders doing, Mr. Pugh said I feel the same way. You see the cheerleaders erotic. I use the word erotic. You can cheer without being erotic. It's very possible. I've seen it done. But when these young girls are being taught erotic moves to do in front of a crowd, and 9 times out of 10 there's a fucking pedophile in that crowd just sitting and watching your little girl. I just don't think that's appropriate. And then oftentimes, obviously whoever the cheer coach is or whatever the case may be, and again, I'm not judging, but I'm just saying how it is. There was an adult that told them to do these moves. There was an adult that told them to wear the things that they wear. There was an adult that said it was okay for them to do what they do. Me personally, I'm not going to affiliate myself with foolishness. Like I said, if I had a girl and she was in an organization that did things that I didn't agree with, I'm going to pull my child out of that. Or I'll try to talk to the organizers or whoever it is to say, okay, I don't feel this is appropriate, that's appropriate, whatever the case may be. I think you need to change it. And if there's no changes made, I pull my child, because I don't. If whatever it is that my child is associated with, if it's not meeting the values that I instill in my child, then we're not participating. That's just period, point blank. Same with my boys. I coached my boys, everything they did, just about everything that they did. And in my coaching on the teams that I was a coach on, whether I was a head coach, assistant coach, a volunteer, just helping out, regardless of what it was. I made sure that my values equaled what the other coaches' values were. In other words, they had to equal my values because we're not going to mistreat these kids. We're not going to cuss at these kids. We're not going to do this, that, and the other. We're not going to have any type of mistreatment of these kids on any team that I coach. That's why I never had an issue with how my child was being treated on the field because I made sure that I was there. I made sure that accountability was had with all the coaches and that they held themselves and the players to a certain standard. So, with the dress, how these young people get dressed out there, how the parents were stressed and how they acted. And then, another thing that pissed me off and bothered me was just the language itself. If it wasn't, we got to watch what we say. And these young folks, I need you. I heard so many young folks that were talking, and I'm talking about the particular boys at this point. I heard too many young men talking in a manner in which I couldn't understand what the hell they were saying because they were not articulating. They weren't pronouncing their words. They were whatever it is this I'm cool type talk that these young boys are doing, whatever it makes them sound just stupid. It's okay to be intelligent. It's okay to be articulate. But we have peers that make it seem not okay. To where, oh no, it's not cool if you pronounce all your syllables. That's not cool. Oh, you used a big word. What the fuck wrong with you? Why are you using these big words? You must be one of them schoolboys. You must be a nerd. The fuck? When is being intelligent a bad thing? And I promise you, these young men was having conversations and they were saying things that I'm like, did anybody pick up a spelling test? Did anybody read it? They may not. On. Okay, I think I'm back. I think I'm back. All right, I think I'm back on Facebook. I think I lost my connection here for a minute. On my controls here, it looks like I may have lost it on WPMM. Trying to get connected back. Not sure what happened. See, anytime I get to talking about real stuff, some entity always try to interrupt me from telling the truth. But I'm not sure what's going on. I'm still trying to connect on the WPMM website and the app. Not sure what happened. But I think I'm back up on Facebook, so that's one thing. So one of these days I'm gonna be big, and I'm gonna get big, and I'm gonna have an engineer. Okay, we are back up on WPMMradio.com. WPMRadio.com, and the app as well. We're back up and running. My apologies for the dead air there. Actually, it's not dead air because as soon as I cut out, it would have been playing. Uh, well, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, Mr. Pugh. Every time I get to talk about some serious stuff, Facebook always try to shut me down. But I said all that to say this. I was just bothered by what I seen, what I heard. I think my people, we need to do better. We really need to cut out this foolishness. We really need to get our act together because, we are trying to move forward. We are trying to make progress because we have our government. We have our government that is trying to make efforts and trying to do everything that they can to oppress our people, black and brown people. And if we can't get it together ourselves, how can we expect to overcome the evils that a Republican government is trying to bestow upon us? How can we do it? So I encourage you, if you're an adult, I encourage you to be a mentor, be a positive. And I'm not saying you got to go out and volunteer um, and do, be at every event and this, that, and another. But when you're out and about, be a positive influence to a young person. Say a positive word to them. When I do come up on young people, yeah, I had to kind of. I don't want to come across as being mean, but when I see somebody doing something that, a young people doing something that they probably shouldn't be doing, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna say something. I still have to be careful in what I say and what I do because these young people, a lot of them don't care. They don't have respect for older people, and that could lead to a situation that we don't even want to talk about. So I have to be careful, even though I'll still do it from time to time. Um, as Pew said, just touch one child other than your own. Exactly. Each one, reach one. Just one, just one child that you may come across in your daily activities, or whatever the case may be. Just say a positive word. Give them something positive. Let them know that they are worth something. That they are valued. That they are our future, and we looking for them to be successful and prosperous. And when I say successful, I don't mean rich. I mean just being a successful person within themselves. I don't care if if you're washing dishes, be the best damn dishwasher you can be and live your life crime free and without that foolishness to where you're not watching your back. Whatever it is you choose to do that is positive, be the best at it you can be. Success is not gauged in monetary value. That's not success. So Mr. Pugh said I got 2 at UWF doing great. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm trying to get my youngest one. Um, but Adam, we're working on that one. We're working on that one. We're going to working on that one. Because I'm gonna leave it at that. We're working on that. So I do want to hear from you guys. I appreciate you guys listening. We are at the top of the hour. It's time for me to get up out of here. I think we got Big V coming up. I think last time I got off on Monday, Big V came up behind me. Or either Luke in. Oh, there we go. Be back on Thursday night, 6 o'clock p.m. If something happens on Thursday and I'm not on Thursday, I would let you guys know. Um, but be looking forward to seeing you on Thursday night. Like I say, each one reach one. Each one reach one. Each one teach one. Be a mentor. Let's get these kids in line. adults, get your act together, stop doing dumb shit, and because it starts with you. If enough kids can see you doing right, they're gonna eventually fall in line and do right. But if they see you doing dumb shit, they're gonna do dumb shit. So, but anyway, it's time for me to get up out of here. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I'll see you Thursday, 6 o'clock, right at WPMM. Y'all be safe. Y'all be blessed. I'm out.